it's probably one from one of my favorite restaurants in Manila, in Makati and in BGC, is Ana Lorenzana de Ocampo. So she's been president. I did not realize that the Wildflour Baking and Cafe Corporation has been going on for so long. But Anna has been the president since its inception and is behind the ever-growing roster of successful F&B concepts, which I'm so happy about, including the flagship Wildflour Café and Bakery. She pursued her love of food at University of the Philippines in Diliman, earning a degree in hotel and restaurant administration. So she's got this to the core. That was in 1991. And she then honed her craft, which I didn't know since I started with this conference, the Cordon Bleu School in London, earning her Grande Diploma culinary arts degree in 1996. Working in corporate for several years, Anna continued to dream about putting up her own restaurant. And in 2012, and that's not in 10 years, this dream finally came to reality, where she co-founded the first Wildflour in BGC. And for those of you remember, it was quite small at that time. And she did this with her sister pastry chef, Margarita Lorenzana-Manzke, and the lineup in Bonifacio Global City. It's now twice as big and twice as delicious. And I think the unparalleled brand of quality is what stands out at the foremost of this Philippine restaurant scene, and gaining also international acclaim. And it has maintained relevance throughout the first 10 years, which for those of you in the industry of food and beverage, it's not easy to keep that standard going for so long and grow. And she's also garnered recognition for being a fearless and pioneering leader. This includes the GoNegosyo Inspiring Filipina Entrepreneur Award in 2018 and Tater's Restaurateur of the Year 2022. So I'm going to let Anna talk to you more about her experience and her learning and her growth over the last 10, 20 plus years. So let's give the usual, we all know what it is, the Zoom thumbs up for Anna. Welcome, Anna.
Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that wonderful introduction. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the culture of our company. So with an industry as inherently competitive as F&B, and a brand whose reputation is at stake on quality in all aspects as Wildflour, the company demands only the best from each and every one of our employees. So this is only made possible by fostering a meritocratic culture that values and rewards hard work and dedication, and that is centered around accountability, such that employees from all levels feel personally responsible for their actions and their output. Whether positive or negative, they must really own their work. So the meritocracy we have instilled at Wildflour facilitates upward mobility for those that show initiative to see challenges as opportunities and stay loyal to the company. And this is evident in how many veteran entry-level wait staff we have that have prospered into seasoned managers, store managers over the years, and even dishwashers who have prospered to become, very good chefs and cooks. So we have also organized Wildflour as a type of company that encourages collaboration between different departments, as everyone is of the mindset that we are just one team working towards a common goal and that no man is an island. So that regardless of rank or function, camaraderie and teamwork across various levels and segments of the organization, be it restaurant, staff, or corporate employee, it's necessary for the whole company to succeed as a synergistic, well-oiled machine. So at Wildflour, we are more interested in a person's aptitude and attitude rather than their credentials. And in our experience, we have seen many seasoned professionals that have worked elsewhere in the restaurant industry, only to not be up to par with the type of worker Wildflour wants or needs for the role. Our management team is extremely hands-on, to the point that from all rungs of the organization, whether corporate manager or busser, they are all interviewed by top management, including myself, So we feel we have the experience and the intuition to be able to discern from just a few questions to whether someone is fit for our organization and the role they're applying for, or on other occasions, if they are fit for other roles within the organization. So it's definitely time intensive and painstakingly, and very painstaking, but we find it necessary to make sure that the company stays cohesive and aligned towards our goals. And it ensures that we, as much as possible, find people that will be assets to the company and will be loyal as it grows. So our management and company culture has always believed that a company's growth is predicated on its people. And we have thus championed initiatives to prioritize them and encourage them to be their best. So some of these initiatives that we have are, we spearhead internal seasonal contests, especially during holidays or holiday periods, which are sometimes tied with promotions and with corresponding monetary prizes for top-selling staff or stores to incentivize upselling and customer engagement. We have also invested in the development of in-house training programs, materials, and facilities to enhance and update staff knowledge and skill sets, while simultaneously improving service levels. So we also have a formula-based approach to apportion service charge fairly based on standardized performance metrics. So Wildflour's people-first mindset makes it so that employees know that they are valued and that their actions have an impact on the company, its success, and its growth. Our employees can attest that the training programs we enact, as well as the daily rigor of working at such a high level at Wildflour, forges them into better people and workers, such that they are virtually able to find work anywhere due to the invaluable experience imparted at working at a high-value enterprise like Wildflour. So this value on our people was further reinforced during the pandemic, as when quarantines restricted the core dine-in business and only permitted skeleton force. So the team made it a point to resist downsizing despite limitations and keep as many of its people on board as possible, unlike other companies that were forced to do mass layoffs. So what we did is we started adjusting schedules to ensure shifts are assigned equally, ensuring salary disbursement remained timely and in full amidst tighter cash flows, providing free and safe transportation services for employees to and from work when public vehicles were unavailable, educating staff on the latest and most accurate COVID-related news and protocols, and being proactive in its vaccination push. With a 100% vaccinated company as early as August 2021, and even extending to encouraging family of staff to get vaccinated too. So all of these combine to make our employees feel that Wildflour is a place where they can not only learn a lot from their personal career progression, but also provide for themselves and support their families, which is why we now have nearly 900 employees and counting, and a good chunk of which have committed to the company for years due to how much Wildflour gives importance to its people and vice versa. So I have always been a strong advocate of people growing together with an organization, and Wildflour is a better business for it. I've always been a big believer of having a culture of excellence and leadership by example, and being hands-on where possible. When your company leaders are in your workplace every single day, even on weekends and holidays, on top of everything, giving crucial advice, and with the ironclad will to make difficult but necessary decisions to steer the business, it inspires a level of respect and dedication that brings out the best in your people to work harder and give the same level of dedication towards a common goal. So believe in and make your people feel valued, and your organization will not only survive, but thrive through anything. So thank you very much. That's my presentation.
Thank you so much. Some hearts going up there. And we all know that the industry of food and beverage just took probably the biggest hit over the last couple of years. And the way that you handled that is very inspiring. So I'm going to hand you straight over to Jerry, because I know he has some questions, and obviously limited time this morning. So Jerry, thank you
Yeah,
for joining us again.
thank you, Anna, for that presentation.
Morning, Jerry. Hi.
Good morning. Okay, just a few, just to have a little conversation with you on your presentation. The focus of your presentation was about culture building. No, if you were to summarize to us again, what would be the specific leader practices that build the culture that you desire? What would those practices be?
I think it's very basic for me. It's really lead by example. Yeah, I always go back to that I have to lead by example. As a matter of fact, as I mentioned earlier, during the pandemic, even if it was very risky for me and for my family, me and my chefs, who are also have become my partners, were there every single day, and we just wanted to show that we were solid together, that we were a team, and that it's just a sign of showing solidarity. So I think leading by example, and I think that's the most important for me.
Is this something that's related to your values, for instance, as an organization? Is this something that's aligned when you say lead by example? Is our leader behavior expectation? Is this somehow aligned with your values, or is this something that you just pronounce or something like that? So where is the leading by example coming out as a this is the way we should lead in the company?
Well, in Wildflour Café, we have like I think we're almost 20 branches, and every single branch has a manager or a couple of managers, and they are leaders in themselves, right? So I think what they see in us, because it's not just me, we're a team, really teaching them what to do or training them, and I want them to have that mindset, our mindset, and I think that will also make them a better leader. I want to extend or let cascade how I think to how they think in terms of service, in terms of treating the customer, and in terms of really leading the staff or the people below them. So for me, it's very important, because it's very hard for me to spread myself out and talk to every single one of them and watch them. So I think it's important that they see it in me and the others in the team. So that's kind of the culture that I want to instill in the company.
Yeah. There was a question raised earlier, but probably I'll ask you at the same time, Anna, whether you're experiencing this in your organization. One of the hottest topics that's talked about these days is the concept called quiet quitting. I don't know if you've heard that. Quiet quitting. This is a situation where an employee decides to just do the minimum,
The bare minimum.
The bare minimum, just to retain the membership in the organization. Are you having that kind of experience as you're taking a look at your culture? And if you are, what are you doing about these types of employees? I mean,
okay, I to be honest, I'm sure there are some of those who do the bare minimum, but I think if you do that, you will not last in our in a company like Wildflour, because you're really going to stick out like a sore thumb. I think we really base everything on performance, and everybody I think thinks, well, I'd like to think that everybody is on the same, we're on the same, we're working towards a common goal, and you'll see if someone is not, I guess, not behaving or not doing their part. It's going to be very obvious, and you have to see it for myself. Sometimes it's the staff themselves who tell us or report to us that this person isn't really is just doing the bare minimum. And I think at least I think in our company, you won't last if you do that. So there are people who've done that, there are employees who've done that, but I don't think they can stay long.
Okay. I see a hand raised. Go ahead, Mandayan. Go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Jerry. Anna, kudos for the presentation and really owning and running such a beautiful organization like Wildflour. Every
Thank
time I
you.
pass by it, and whoever I am with, they say this is my favorite restaurant. So congrats, really good place to
Thank
go
you.
to. Yeah.
So nice to
My
hear that. Thank you.
my question is 900 employees and 20 branches, and seems like you have a potential to explode into something really huge. And the question is, what kind of measures are you taking to go worldwide or even beyond this nation? So it has the potential, it has the design for it. So I'm sure you're thinking about that, if you don't
Well,
mind.
right. Of course. Right now, of course, we don't want personalities behind it, right? Because we want it to run, as I said earlier, like a very well-oiled machine. So we professionalize everything. It should come to a point where even if I'm not there, it runs like a well-oiled machine, synergistically. So that's what I'm doing right now. And just to do that, to answer some of your questions, we've also trademarked, of course, the name. And we have a lot of stuff that we did ourselves, like the cremadette, our retro nights. I don't know if you've been to one of our every Friday, Wildflour turns into a club. And so we've trademarked that as well because it's been copied. And we try to trademark everything. So that's one. And then, as I said, we try to professionalize everything, so much so that every single restaurant really runs very similarly because of I guess how we've structured it, no? So and I think, I don't know, I hope I'm not, I hope I'm right in saying that as much as possible, everything is very consistent. The food is the same in every restaurant. So that's what we're trying to do. We're fixing our recipes so much, and the training has to be very intensive for chefs, so that before we transfer them to another branch, at least they know exactly what their trainers taught them. So there's so many moving parts, but yeah, those are some of the things that we do. And yes, we've been approached by so many people, like investors and all that. But
Yeah.
we're right now. It's something that we could think about in the future, I guess.
Yeah. Raju, another one?
Yeah, sorry, if you don't mind. There's this saying, if you want to buy a Mercedes Benz, you need to own a garage to fit that Benz into. And I'm just wondering about, besides the copyrights and the training and real ownership as far as every worker is concerned, what's the structural design that will help it expand, if there's anything you're doing?
The structural design.
Yeah, like 20 to 200. Just think of it. What are you going to do? Anyway.
How do I answer the question?
Yeah, think about it. All right, think about it. Think about it. It's okay.
I guess we have to do it step by step. One step at a time. But we are doing everything we can to be ready for something like that in the future. And if ever we do expand, I guess our dream, I think I've said before, is to go beyond Philippine shores, and we're trying to make it in such a way that not only Filipinos are the only ones that appreciate Wildflour, but it is appreciated globally by, I guess, an international customer base. So I think we're trying to make it in that way. And again, in every Wildflour, I think most of our customers always say that when they go to when they eat at our restaurant, they feel like they're transported to a different place. I guess creating that experience is part of the plan as well. Creating that ambiance, because it's not just the food here that we're talking about; it's the entire experience. It's how it's the ambiance, the food, the service, it's everything. So yeah, as I said, step by step.
Godspeed.
Okay, thank you, Raju. I think the word experience is a key word these days, Anna. We're not just talking about customer experience, we're talking about employee experience, the deliverers of the service. And I think you're very conscious in trying to build that kind of a culture where you were saying valuing employees, putting employees first, and like that, creating that loyalty based on the trust and the valuation. you know, I just wanted to get your views on how does your culture align with your strategy, because sometimes these two words seem to be created separately and they are not talking to each other, you know. So in your case, what has been your practice of aligning culture with strategy?
Aligning culture with strategy. I guess we just have to be consistent with our quality. Um, I guess that's one of the things that we really try to make our employees understand, that quality is very important. The consistency of quality is very important, and this extends not just from food, but not just in food, but even the service everywhere, the cleanliness, it's a whole package. So consistency is key for us in every aspect.
Okay, okay. Yeah, there's a question here from Trixie. It says here, are those people practices that you continue to do after the pandemic? You know, and the practices that you discontinued. What were those practices you continued and you discontinued as a result of the pandemic?
Well, of course, work from home is something that's it's not, you know, in the beginning we had a corporate team, okay, because apart from the front of the house, we also have this corporate team, and it was possible for them to work from home, and this is marketing, strategic planning, and all that, and we allow them to work from home. But now, even if in some companies marketing is allowed to work from home, we feel that they have to be on the ground and see what's going on and see what the problems are to be able to, I guess, to address what needs to be addressed, right? So that's one change. When we interview people now, I hope I'm not being, you know, but we just say, if your mindset is to work from home, then this is not a place for you, because we want everybody, as I said, to collaborate with each other, to work as a team, to understand what's going on. Like even somebody who works in the office, in our head, in the main office, has to come every so often, because even if she's just there to pay the bills or the invoices of what's delivered to us, she should understand what's going on. So we just discourage that, the work from home. What else from the pandemic? Right now, that's all I can think of. Yeah, the work from home. Of course, the vaccinations, that's all been done, you know. But it's basically being at the store every single time, so that they understand how the whole operation works.
Okay, Anna, I think that's about all the time we have. Thank you very much for your presentation, and it's unfortunate you won't be able to join us in our
Sorry about
conversation.
that.
All right, all right. Probably some other time, probably. Yeah, Trixie is
Yes.
waiting. Anyway, thanks a lot for your presentation.
Thanks for
Back to you,
inviting me. Thank you
yeah.
so much.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for having
Back
me.
to you, Tater.